I have to take these gloves off. Ooh. Other side. VISEART Paris is a Parisian makeup brand. It is a professional makeup artist's best kept secret. High performance cosmetics fused with natural ingredients. These palettes are pigment rich. Are you ready to get into the collection that I currently have? I know I am. I currently have 17 VISEART palettes in my possession, and this includes face palettes, cheek palettes, and eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to begin swatching the Pro palettes, and this includes the face and the eyeshadow palettes that I have. This is the bronzer, highlighting, and sculpting palette. I have this on right now, both sides. I have this for contouring and this for the highlighting that you see. I'm going to start the swatches now. These are the swatches for this palette. I started with the lightest shade all the way to the darkest shade for the contour. As you can see, the lightest contour shade doesn't even show up on my skin. I'm an olive skin tone, medium olive skin tone, so the medium and dark shades look more opaque on my skin. And as far as the highlight shades go, you can see that there's a variation of a champagne, a rose gold, and a golden shade. You can create endless makeup looks, and these colors will match every single one. They look so amazing on the skin, and you can even see I used the champagne shade for my makeup look today, and it looks so good. This is the Plum Bronze palette, and I used the bronze shade for every single one of my looks, especially the one that I'm wearing right now. Let's get into the swatches. These are the swatches for this palette right here. The first three on the right side are the swatches for this bronzers, and then on the other side I started with the lightest to the darkest, and those are the plum shades. Aren't they gorgeous? What you see is what you get. I love them. These are swatches of the orange violet palette. I coordinated from each side so that it's easier to interpret. I am actually using the orange side on my face right now. This palette's really good for anybody who has olive skin like me. These shades will look beautiful on you, and it'll just melt into your skin, make you look sun-kissed, and really coordinate with a lot of different makeup looks. This has to be one of my favorite cheek palettes so far. And you know, I love orange and I love violet. Those are my two favorite colors to wear. So this is made for me. I wish. These are the swatches for the Rose Coral palette. This looks similar to the previous palette, but the undertones are completely different. This palette has more of pink undertones and rosy undertones. The previous had more lavender undertones, so this one is gorgeous as well. This is giving spring and summer vibes. I love this. Now we're gonna get into the Pro eyeshadow palettes. This is the neutral matte palette, and I have it swatched right here with all the colors against my skin tone from the lightest to the darkest. And you can see that they all show up on my skin tone, and I'm pretty tan and olive undertones. You can see the beginning here are transition shades. You can see a highlight shade there, and all of these colors can be used to create natural looks, smoky eye. You can create endless possibilities with this palette. This is an essential for anybody's professional or personal kit because you can use these shades on the face and on the eyes. I actually use this eyeshadow palette for my makeup look today alongside other VISEART palettes, which I'm going to get into, but this is definitely an essential, and I just swiped once for these swatches. That just shows you how highly pigmented they are, and it kind of broke my heart to kind of rub my finger in these products because I love this palette and it was so expensive. This is the VISEART Dark Matte swatches. You can see that these all show up on my skin, and they are definitely the key ingredient to a smoky eye. These colors, you can see more blue, greens. They're definitely deeper shades, the deep orange shade, burgundy, brick colors, deep chocolate browns. It's very delicious. It's very mysterious. This is true matte shades. They look so amazing on camera and off camera, like all of the other VISEART products. I really like this. I also use this to create my eyeshadow look today. Combination of some colors here. Can you guess which ones they are? But I definitely recommend this one. It's an essential for me as well, for anybody's kit. What's really neat about VISEART is that they create the mini palettes, the mini petite pro palettes. All the palettes that I just showed you, the eyeshadow palettes, not the face palettes, the eyeshadow palettes, they come in a petite version where you can definitely try it out if you like it. And if you like it, purchase the larger version. Or if you're using it for your own collection, your daily collection for yourself, you could definitely buy one of these and call it a day. They're really cool because they're magnetic. You can remove them from the palette, just like the larger palettes. And you can create a customized palette just for you, especially if you like to travel with your eyeshadows and create a custom palette of your liking. So these are all the Petite Pros. There's a mixture of matte and sultry colors in here. And I use a combination of all these palettes to create my eyeshadow look today and various other makeup looks that are on my page. I begin with the Petite Mattes Editorial Brights. I wasn't expecting to use this palette a lot, but this is the most used palette for me. I use it for this eyeshadow look, and you're gonna see that it's very well loved already. I hit pan on the white shade. Oopsies. But these shades are incredible. I'm just gonna swatch just a few of these. That way I can move on to the next palette and show you what else VISEART has to offer. I'm going to swatch the yellow here because the yellow shade is very hard to come by. And for it to show up on skin tones, such as olive skin tones, tan, and deep skin tones. So that's the yellow swatched. Let me swatch the blue. Let me swatch that. So this is the blue that's in the Editorial Brights. It's completely, look at this. Beautiful. Every shade that you see here is going to look so incredible in any makeup design that you create. And I actually used it for this eyeshadow look that I have now. Here is the Petite Shimmers Sultry Muse. This is a gorgeous shade. We have a mixture of satin, shimmers, and metallic shades. I actually use this shade for my eyeshadow look today. It's completely gorgeous. Since you already see it, this shade looks on my lid, I want to show you a gold shade. Look how beautiful that is, and that's just one swipe. These are two swipes. So all of these shades are so beautiful, and they give such a sultry vibe, and they can be used wet or dry. And this is the Petite Mattes Milieu. This is also an essential. It has even deeper neutral shades that you can use to enhance any makeup look. These are very similar to the other neutral palettes that I had swatched earlier, but you can see that there are some deeper smokier tones in this one, and they are completely gorgeous. These are the Petite Mattes Cool. This is such a great palette to work with, especially if you are creating everyday look or a nice natural smoky eye, or you want to use this alongside the Dark Mattes palette to create an intense smoky eye. This is such an essential palette, and I have been using it a lot. I love this palette. The Petite Shimmers Paris Nudes, and this is a combination of shimmers, satin, metallic shades that are very nice and natural for those bridal looks and for very soft everyday looks if you're more into that soft glam. I'm going to get into the special edition palettes that VISEART offers. This is the Paris Edit. This is a very beautiful palette to create romantic looks, something very beautiful for spring or for a romantic date, or if you just like that elegant, classic look for your everyday. This is a palette to buy because you can actually use these shades right here for daytime, and this shades all of this side of the palette for a deeper version of your look to create for an evening look. So you can transition from day to night with this palette, and it's definitely something that you can fit in your purse, and it actually has a mirror inside where it's very convenient to do so. These are from the same collection, which is a collection that's based on mauve and violet tones. This is the CASHMERIE, and this is the CHARMEUSE CHARMEUSE. And I hope I said that correctly, but these are from the same collection, and I'm going to show you the difference between the tones. The CASHMERIE is this one on the right, and this is actually an iconic palette that came out with VISEART, and it was so loved that they created a sister palette, which is this one over here, which is the CASHMERIE CHARMEUSE. And you can see that they definitely complement each other. They have a beautiful color story altogether. If you were just put all of these magnetic eyeshadows in your own magnetic palette, you would create a large mauve and violet tone palette that's perfect for romantic looks, for beautiful spring, summer, and fall looks. I feel these colors definitely can be used in various different seasons, definitely with different eye colors, skin tones, hair colors. It has a combination of mattes, shimmers, we have metallics, satin finishes. These colors have to be my favorite because I love the color lilac. That's one of my favorite colors. And mauve tones really look good on my skin. So this is really good for olive skin tones and for various different skin tones, because you have the cool and warm tone colors. You have the champagne shades, the bronze, the silver. You have different shades to work with. I definitely recommend this palette, and it also has a large mirror. You can see the difference between the Paris Edit and the Cashmere palette. You see the difference. This is way smaller. These are large full-size eyeshadows. This is called the MINXETTE. This is definitely, even from the packaging itself, you can see that it's very warm tone. So this is for all the warm tone eyeshadow lovers. Bring on the heat, baby. This is definitely a summer and fall palette. Or if you love to have a nice warm tone eyeshadow color and makes you look sultry, makes you look sun-kissed, this is the palette for you. Definitely loving this. I've already worn it in one of my videos, and I am in love with the results. You have a combination of the mattes that you can actually create daytime and nighttime looks using these shades here. You can deepen it up with this shade, and you have a variation of bronze tones. So you have a true gold, you have a true copper, true bronze, and then you have a rose gold. So you have all of the types of warm shades that you can imagine. They live in this palette, and I'm living for it. Last but not least, FLEURETTE Cure, and this is gorgeous. This is a face palette. This is perfect for on-the-go makeup looks. I have an actual tutorial of creating a 5-minute or less makeup look when you're in a rush to go to school, to work, if you're a busy mom, or if you're just a busy person in general and you're trying to run errands and still feel beautiful and enhance your beauty. This is a perfect palette to use because you don't have to think about what combines with what shade, which cheek shade complements the eyeshadow. You can just pop on these cheek shades and then apply the eyeshadow. Good to go. You can travel with this palette because it's very small. It's very tiny compared to, this is the MINXETTE, which is the palette that I had previously showed you. And then I'm going to show you this palette next to the Paris Edit. So these are very tiny. And compared to the large Pro palettes, you can see that it's very small, very portable, easy to travel with, and the shades are gorgeous. I'm just going to swatch this one shade right here. It's a beautiful shade here. And the blush shade is one of my favorites so far. It's very subtle, and it just gives you a nice sun-kissed look, very natural look on olive skin tone. I'm sure on lighter skin tones it will show up even more, but for olive skin tone, it looks a lot more natural, and you can visit my page to see how this palette looks on me. I have a whole entire makeup look. These are some swatches from the Pro palettes, and if you want to see swatches of the rest of the eyeshadow palettes, comment down below. And also if you want to see some of the eyeshadow looks that I've been creating using these palettes that I have not swatched, you can visit my page and you can see how they actually work on the eyelid and the effect that it gives for makeup designs. I'm really loving these palettes. I've been using these palettes in every single makeup look that I have been creating as of yet, and I am loving the results. You see the pigmentation is highly pigmented. What you see is what you get. It's highly predictable results because when you blend out the shades, they still are true to tone. There are no mistakes. There's no muddiness. These palettes are incredible. I highly recommend them. And if VISEART, if you're watching, you've been watching a lot of my videos lately. Thank you guys for all of the feedback you've been giving me. I've been loving creating these makeup looks using your incredible products. I can always depend on them to help me create the vision I have for my makeup looks, and I can always achieve the final result that I desire. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, if you want to see more swatch videos, comment down below and like this video. Ensure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, following me on Instagram and Facebook, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.